Hey everybody, this is Al from PC Tech Review 101, coming back to you with another video. In today's video, I'm going to review this old ASUS gaming laptop that I recently purchased for $100. This specific model is an ASUS G46VW. It's a 14-inch laptop with max resolution of 1366 by 768. Now, this specific model is now going over 6 years, and it came with an i5 processor, 3210M, and for the graphics card is a GTX 660M, which is a 2GB VRAM, 8GB of DDR3 RAM, and also 750GB hard drive. The only upgrade that I've done to this laptop was changing the hard drive into an SSD drive to a smaller size, 250 watt. I just wanted to see how well it performs. Really, it made a big difference, I'm telling you, when you throw an SSD, especially on older hardware. Made it run a lot better, and of course I did a fresh install of Windows, get everything, all the bugs out, get all the bloatware, and I was very surprised how well this thing performs. So what I really wanted to find out is how well can an old laptop perform in today's modern titles, and not just, you know, the lower end ones, but the AAA titles. And you know, I was very surprised how well it did. I mean, it's nothing special, but at least it was able to run some of the games, you know, in an enjoyable manner. And of course, some of the other ones that are pretty hard to run, they were barely playable. But without further ado, let's take a look closer to this old laptop and go over some more of the specs on this bad boy. Okay, so we're gonna take a look at the first side here on the left and go over all the features that it has. So you could see it has an Ethernet jack right there, 2 USB 3.0 USB slots there, and then you have a mini display port, then you have the headphones and a microphone jack. For an old laptop like this, it is fairly modern, I would say. It does have Bluetooth capability, and as far as Wi-Fi, it doesn't have 5G, it just has a regular standard Wi-Fi. But with the internet speed that I have, I was able to get my full speed that I have, and I was able to get the full 10 megs or whatever it was. So it performed pretty well on Wi-Fi. Let's take a look on this side here. Here we have another USB 3.0. We have a HDMI jack and the old VGA jack and a card reader right there. So as you could see, for an old laptop, it has plenty of features. The size is just right. I really like it. It's not too bulky. It's got really good cooling and everything. So in my opinion, this was a great buy, and if anybody could get this old laptop on the cheap, I definitely recommend it. Now, one thing I must tell you, that from what I'm hearing, NVIDIA soon is not gonna update this mobile 600 series graphics cards anymore. But as of now, as of April of 2019, I do have the latest NVIDIA driver, which allows me to play any game out there pretty much. Of course, not all of them are going to play at good frame rates, but I'm just trying to see if I could even play it even at low frame rates. So that's the point of the test. And also, one thing I must mention, for those of you not familiar with the gaming laptops, to get maximum performance, you should have it plugged into the power brick. Some of the games I could barely even play without it being connected to the power brick. I'm not saying that the battery is bad. The battery holds, by the way, on this one is pretty well for a 14-inch. The battery life on this, when you have a full charge, is way better than most of the 15-inch, 15.6 inch laptops nowadays, especially the ones with beefier processor and graphic cards. This thing lasts almost double or maybe triple in some cases than some of the newer laptops. That's why I really like this little tiny one. But again, even with other new modern laptops, you would have this thing connected to the power brick to get that extra juice to run the AAA title games. So without further ado, let's test out some of the new modern games and see if this thing could even play them at the full resolution that this laptop is capable of, which is 1366 by 768. Okay, the first game we're going to try out is the good old Fortnite. Let's take a look at the settings. We are going to start on the lowest settings here at the maximum resolution of 1366 by 768. And let's see how well it does. Now when it comes to this kind of laptop, this mobile processor, GTX 660M, probably low to medium settings on the full resolution will be your best bet. It's really not bad at all. And with this screen, the coloring is really good. It's brighter than some of the newer IPS or TN panels out there. Not too bad. Now let's give it a last try here on the high settings. To see if it's even playable. Yeah, and that's about pretty much it. I'll tell you, not too bad for an old laptop. Games like this could be quite enjoyable. Right now I'm using an Xbox 360 controller. Works real well. Okay guys, let's go to the next game. Okay, the next game we're going to test out is Resident Evil 2 Remake. It's going to be a little harder to run on this GTX 660M. Let's take a look at the settings. Once again, that's going to be the max resolution on the screen, and we're going to keep everything on the lowest possible settings, and that's pretty much what we're going to run it at. You could change to normal here. It's going to give you a little bit better quality, but I'm going to run interlace just to get maximum. You could tinker around and get a little bit better look, but for now we're going to just keep it this way for the maximum FPS. Okay, well that concludes the test. As you could see, Resident Evil 2 is quite playable and enjoyable too. You could tinker around with the settings, but the FPS will go down. And in my opinion, this is probably the best setting you could do without any stuttering or any issues or lag. Still not bad. Okay, off we go to another. Now we're doing Battlefield 5. Yeah, with this game you're gonna have to be on the lowest settings in order to be playable. So we have, as you could see, that's the resolution there, full screen. And then we are on the lowest, but it still looks pretty good. Anything, any higher settings would really be deemed unplayable, so I'm gonna go ahead and just run it at the lowest. Whew. And again, major stutters during loading sequences, saving sequences. You know, again, if you're on a budget and you get this thing at a really cheap price, I think it's still worth it. It's still playable. Nothing to record a game on, that's for sure. You don't want to record a game with that big stutter lag during saving points. But other than that, as you could see, it's still playable. And that concludes the test of Battlefield 5. And here we have Metro Exodus. barely playable on the very, very lowest settings, but still at the full resolution that this laptop can handle. I noticed that if you lower the resolution even lower, it makes really no difference in FPS, maybe 1 or 2. It's not even worth it for it to look so bad. So let's see what we could do. On the inside, in the more closed areas, you're gonna get more FPS, but on more of an open area, it's really terrible.
Attention! The turntable is switching on.
Well, that's pretty much it for the Metro Exodus test. As you could see, when we're inside, the frame rates jump up to 30s in there, no problem. It plays pretty decent, but nothing to go crazy about.
Some use. Okay, they took the girl to the base chief for interrogation. I can't take you to the main entrance. Too many guards. But we may sneak in from the back. Let's go. Don't rush though. If they notice you, you're both done for. Wait. Better not walk into the light. Let's do it this way.
And here we have Devil May Cry 5. Yeah, it may look a little dark. I think it's the problem with the driver. With these old graphic cards, you have the dark driver issue. As you could see, it just gets dark, but kind of give you an idea what kind of frame rates we're looking at here.
I can take you with no arms.
As you can see, we're on the lowest settings here. You could tinker around with it a little bit more to make it more playable. You know, I mean, the frame rates are gonna drop, and it might be still a little bit playable, but we're gonna keep it on the lowest settings.
I trust you. We're just helping each other out. We're coming.
Really not bad. This game performs pretty good with this graphics card. Alright, it's time for the boss that you can't beat.
Hold on, Dante.
Yeah, and that's pretty much it. That concludes the test for Devil May Cry on the GTX 660M. Thank you for watching, everybody.